Welcome to the Take Action Now Summit. You will discover groundbreaking strategies for personal and business growth with leading experts and innovators. Today, transform forward. Step into 2024 with confidence. Strengthen your network, build relationships, and develop awareness and skills. Join our 21 world-class speakers and experience inspiration, hope for your future, and an elevation of your ambitions. Inspired Choices Network, our summit hosts, are excited to have you here.
Hello there. My name is Blondina Polazzo, aka the Smart Blonde. And if the title of my talk, the good F word, didn't get your attention, maybe these stats will. So I'm not a stats girl. Actually, I think they're rather boring with my personality. Stats are not my thing. But in business, stats are important. Actually, stats are important in many aspects of life, but let's talk about business. I just briefly looked at some stats for you guys. 40% of new business owners fail in business in their first year. That ups to 50% in the first 5 years, and then it's a whopping 65% in the first 10 years. So when I looked at that, I was blown away. We need to understand stats, even though they're quite boring, in my opinion. But I also was like, why do people fail in business? Now, of course, a lot of people understand that money or funds or resources is a big reason why, or the managing of those funds. But you know, what was really interesting is having the right people on the bus was also a big indicator of failure, meaning you have an awesome bus, you have an awesome business idea, fantastic. You're going down the road, you got your great people on the bus, but then maybe you don't, and you don't kick them off the bus in time. Or you have the wrong people driving, or the wrong person sitting in the back, and they need to be sitting up in the front. Also, I found out is that if you don't have the right marketing plan, you're marketing to the wrong people, right? I thought that was interesting because for a long time, and I still do, I owned a fitness business. And what if I just marketed to dogs? And I went to the dog pound and I marketed to dogs. And I'm like, why aren't they coming on board? Because it's the wrong audience. So once I looked at those stats and those facts and understood it, I wanted to explain the good F word. Now listen, we all know the bad F word. And we've all had a bad F word day. But I want you to have good F word days more than the bad F word days in business and entrepreneurship. So I love to talk about the F word, if you haven't noticed already. My mom and I, for the last 10, 15 years, laugh and laugh and laugh in regards to all the F words that we come up with. I love to talk about my faith. I love to talk about fitness. I love to talk about my family. I love to talk about the field that I'm in, and I love to talk about finances and fun and freedom and friendships, all the F words. I love to talk about them. But today, the good F word that we are talking about is finance, specifically being financially fit in your business. What does that look like? What does that even mean, right? So over the last 3 decades, I've actually been in the physical fitness industry, helping thousands and thousands of men and women truly become healthy. And in the past 17 years, I shifted slightly and helped people more financial wellness, meaning I helped them get out of debt. I helped them with a budget. I helped them really prosper in building residual and repeat income. And then because I was financially fit, I did really well in our business, and I did really well with stewarding our finances properly. It launched me into what I do now is a wealth strategist. Now I'm a health and wealth strategist because I'm never going to leave the health industry, because there's not one person I've ever met on this earth that wanted to arrive in their retirement years, and we're entrepreneurs, we're never going to retire. So as we arrive in our slowdown years, that we wanted to be unhealthy and broke. Not one person said, that's my goal. Let me show up in retirement and just spend all my money on medical bills and not have anywhere to spend my money because I don't have any, right? And so it's been interesting launching that career because I just looked at our business and what we did. And I use our story to really help those that I work with on a regular basis. Now, I use an acronym, and if you've been in the fitness world, you would understand this. There's an acronym in the fitness world called FIT. It's FITT, which means frequency, intensity, time, and type. Doesn't matter in this talk today. However, about 15 years ago, I realized I need to shorten that and use the word just FIT. FIT, F period, I period, T period. What does it mean? It means forever in training, because I was getting clients that would come on board and they would have a 90-day goal, a 6-month goal, what have you, with their health and wellness. And once they got to that goal, it's like they completely forgot about all the things that they needed to do to keep that fitness level or to keep that health goal that they achieved. So I turned that acronym in the fitness world into forever in training. Well, think about it. We're forever in training in all areas of our life. And it really translated over into the business side because we always have to be have our training wheels on. We need, as we navigate through different seasons of life, right? And seasons in our business, we need to have that in the back of our head that we are forever in training, right? And I want you to also think about this acronym, FIT, F-I-T, with these three words that I want you to write down. I hope you're taking notes because I want you to write this down. Because my biggest thing is that I need you to take some nuggets away so you can take action, right? This is the Take Action Now Summit, and you need to take action on the nuggets that you hear today. So think about this, F for fuel. Let's talk about that. So I'm going to help you navigate becoming financially fit in your business and possibly in your life. I think a lot goes hand in hand, or maybe in your relationship today, or whatever you're needing and you need to experience to push forward in life. But today specifically, let's talk about your business, the fuel, right? I wrote down some notes because I think they're really important, because fuel is not just money. It's resources, it's your time, it's the right people on the bus, like I talked about before. It obviously is money, right? That's important. And do you have enough to be profitable, right? So you need to, what I call, in that fuel category, do a financial health check. Now, when I'm meeting with people, they're in the fitness, they're coming to me for fitness, health reasons, whatever the case may be. I usually send them to their doctor, or they go to their doctor on their own before they start with me, because I want to get a health check. They want to make sure everything is going well. Like, how is their heart doing? How is their cholesterol? They get all the blood work, they get all the tests done. But do you do that in business? Do you do a financial health check in your business? And how often do you do it? Now, in normal world, when we're checking our health, we go to the doctor probably annually. And I would think that's probably pretty good in your business. But for me, I think you should do a financial health check probably on a monthly basis. And for some, it's daily. I've worked with some that really, this has been, the nail in the tire type of process for them. And they really need to get a hold of it. So in regards to your financial health check, what are you looking? I want you to write 3 different categories. Where are you spending your money? You could just brainstorm one day and just write it all out. And then also look at where you're spending your time. Just like when I referred to my marketing plan, if I had a fitness business and I'm marketing to doggies, it's really not going to be working for me. And I'm spinning my wheels and my time on something that is not working. So you could write that all out. Also, I would like for you to look at just who is on the bus with you. This could be a couple of things. So everybody has a different business. Some people have employees, some people have business partners. Now, I've hired many coaches over the years to help me launch my business to a whole new level. Here's the key. I don't really call them coaches. I call them business partners because they are experts in their field, right? I'm an expert in this, and I usually hire on somebody that's an expert in marketing or an expert in social media, or just somebody like Christine who's posting this, who has unbelievable eyeballs. They could look at my business, have a brainstorming session with me, and really kick me in the bum in regards to what I need to do, right? Those are people, those are having the right people on the bus. Could you imagine if you hired an employee that was a social media specialist and they were vulgar on social media? They didn't look like you, appear to be like you, they didn't talk like you. It did the opposite. That's the wrong person on the bus. You need to kick them off the bus. So you really need to understand and analyze who you have on the bus. And maybe this season of life you needed them, but maybe you don't need them anymore. And maybe it's costing you money in your business. So you got to understand the fuel. It's your nutrients for your body or nutrients for your business. When we talk about nutrients for our body, right? You have to fuel your body right to get to a certain point to achieve a goal. Well, you got to think about that in business too. What are you fueling yourself so that your business can go to the next level? And those three things, I want you to brainstorm, write it all out. Again, this summit is all about taking action now. So you have to think about taking action now. Whether you're on the summit or you are in life in general, it is truly all about action. So I'm going to share a story with you, a couple of stories, so that you understand maybe how to navigate this in your life and in your business. So the first one, I'm going to take you back to when I was 25 years old, which is, just like last week, right? So at 25, I was a single mom. That was not something I'm like, hey, I want to be a single mom when I grow up. I ended up being a single mom. And actually, my two best friends from high school were also single moms. And none of us wanted us to be a single parent. So we had a problem. Our biggest problem was that we could not find solid babysitters. I know. Solid babysitters for like New Year's Eve. And we didn't want to ask our parents all the time because they wanted to go out on New Year's Eve. So we got together, we came up with a plan called Sitter Solutions. Now, Sitter Solutions was all about finding the right babysitter with the background check and all these things. We actually opened up in 3 different states, Indiana, Illinois, and Missouri. I was in Missouri, Heather was in Illinois, and Andrea was in Indiana. And we worked together. Now, I was the main financial backer of this company, but we took a financial health check in our business, and we realized we needed a silent investor. We needed a strategic business partner that had cash, right? We're 25, we're single moms. We needed somebody that had a little bit more money than we did. And then, so we launched in Illinois. We're going strong. Everything's going fantastic. And then we had a very prominent senator in Illinois hire one of our sitters. And we did have some sitters that were under the age of 16. We had to have waivers, and then we had to have an agreement with their parents where they would drive them to the location and also pick them up. This specific night, this senator came home. Everything was agreed upon, but he decided that he wanted to take the sitter home. And since he was a prominent man and he had a lot of influence, she just said yes. The thing is that he was drinking. And he drove her home. Now, let me tell you, nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened to this young girl, and nothing happened to this senator, and everything was all good. However, the 15-year-old girl told her mom, and her mom called us. And we closed our doors in 24 hours. Here's why. We didn't have the proper business insurance in place, and she could have totally sued us. That was an extreme learning point. That's actually a huge learning point for us. I don't know if we needed to close our doors. I don't know if we needed to go that drastic, but that cost us hugely financially. What was kind of cool is 5 years later, there was another whole group of girls. I don't know if they were single moms, but a whole group of girls that got together and they launched that business. And today that business is thriving because it was a needed solution for a lot of moms out there, not just single moms. So we learned from that, right? I want to share another story. I also am highly insured That's a really big, important piece so that you are financially strong on many, many levels. I'm going to share another story with you. So in 2019, my business partner and I lost 99% of our revenue. 99% of our revenue. On our best year, we did almost $20 million in revenue. And on average, we did about $10 to $15 million in revenue over 13 years annually, right? So annually, we were doing very, very well. 2019 comes around, we lose 99% of our revenue. And guess what? We lose 99% of our income. But here's the kicker. Just like in personal life, and you have an emergency fund, in business life, you should have an emergency fund because life is going to happen. Just like in our first business with Sitter Solutions, we didn't have the proper insurance. We were afraid. I ended up losing financially because we closed our doors in 24 hours. Here, we got smart. We had an emergency fund, personal emergency fund, so that we could live off of that money, as well as in our business, we had an emergency fund. But the cool part is 2 years later, we were profitable because we put pieces of the puzzle in place financially to make sure that we strived, right? So things are going to happen with your life. They're going to happen with your business. You need to be prepared. I think an emergency fund, a lot of people don't talk about it. It's not fun, but it's really important. So the last story I'm going to share with you that I think is really important in regards to fueling your body, or not fueling your body, fueling your business, is my friend Joel and Jackie. Joel and Jackie were huge mentors of mine in my life. Joel had his own business. Jackie had her own business. Jackie was a private partner. So she didn't do anything. She wasn't the face of the company. She wasn't the voice of the company. She was a private partner for 10 years. Joel had his own company, doing fantastically. He was awesome. He was an amazing athletic director. He worked with professional athletes. He did very, very well. All of a sudden, I don't know the reasons why he didn't share them with me, but his business went away. So overnight, his business went away. 2 years later, Jackie's business partner, who was the face and the voice of her company, passed away. Now, they had a lot of pieces properly placed in their business that if something happened, they would be okay. Whether that's insurance, whether that was the trust, all these different pieces of the puzzle financially, so that when things happen, they were okay. Now, Jackie had to come basically out of retirement and work like 15 hours a day, and that was not fun, but her business thrived, and she learned to roll with the punches. The other thing that hit them was 1 year after her business partner passed away, her husband, Joel, passed away suddenly. Actually, he called me an hour before he passed away. I still have his voice message. It was completely all of a sudden, he went instantly to heaven. The thing about this couple that I want to share with you in regards to business is they lived on 10% of their income. So they had an income come in, and this family gave away or supported community or built homes in Mexico on 90% of that income. And they were blessed extremely. They lived a life of an impact that had a ripple effect to this day, because things happen in life. People pass away. We have to talk about that. You have to have the right pieces of the puzzle in place so that you are completely taken care of when those things happen. Now, the I that I'm going to talk about is invest, because I think that's really important that we talk about this word, because it's not just about investing financially. Yes, you need to purchase certain things. You need to purchase marketing. You need to purchase maybe a chair for your office. There's things that you actually have to purchase. But let's talk about the other part of investing. Let's talk about investing in yourself, right? So think about this. If you have the wrong people on the bus, that's costing you your fuel, right? It's slowing your business down. But if you have the right people on the bus, man, can that be like jet fuel for that bus, for your business, right? So think about this. Really, I want you to come in closely. I want you to think about, if you write this down under I, invest. If you invested in a strategic business partner, what would that look like for your business, right? What if you invested, you're investing right now in the Take Action Now Summit, right? You invest in yourself, that can excel. I know in business that the people that I listen to, if I took one nugget and I took action, it was going to propel me forward, right? And that was the most important thing, was to move the ball forward in business so that I could be financially fit and my business would be profitable. But think about this. When you're investing in yourself in regards to a workout, you have to go to a gym. You have to hire a coach. You got to maybe get a nutrition plan. You've got to do all these things for you. You got to think about the things that you're investing in your business, the right things to invest in. I think that's really key, because if you take it back to when I was 25 and we started Sitter Solutions, we had to invest in a private investor that had the cash flow, because we needed the cash flow, right? But also, if you take it back into the business that we had that went away in 2019, we lost 99% of our revenue. We actually invested in products that grew our business. So when I talk about investing for personal life, we talked about 401k and IRA and Roth IRA and different things that you can propel your money. You need to also think about that in business. What products can you invest in, right, that will propel you to grow your business and grow your money, especially if you're thinking about retirement, right? And the last thing is thrive, because that is the most important, because we want to thrive in business. And I'm going to give you this last little piece in regards to your homework. So I want you to actually, this is my favorite part. I want you to envision your business 1 year from now. I want you to actually write it out. What does it actually look like when you're thriving in your business? It's profitable. How many people are you impacting? And so that's what's really cool, is that I want you to write that out. Also, I like to take it out 5 years, because things can happen really quickly in 5 years. And so write it out as if it were today. I want you to talk about, what is the weather? What does it look like? How did you get up that morning? What are you doing? Write it all out. Because this is the thing, when you're thriving in business, it means that you're impacting lives. When you're more profitable, you're impacting more lives. My whole mission on this earth is to be a ripple effect, to impact as many lives as I can, whether it's with one little nugget that you take away, or whether I'm a strategic business partner, or I'm helping you invest in a retirement or a slowdown season when you don't want to work as hard. Like, that's what I want you to think about. What does that really, truly look like for you? So let's just recap really quickly on your homework. So first of all, fit, F period, I period, T period. Forever in training. You're never going to stop. You need to always show up to grab more knowledge, more wisdom, because you're forever in training. The other thing that I remember is fuel. Write out all the things that you need, resources that you need to really take your business forward. And then what are you going to invest in? What do you need to invest in, right? Write those things out. But the most important, because that's your vision for your life and for your business, is write out 1 year from now, when your business is thriving, because it will thrive. What does that look like for you? And then take it one step further, because 5 years, again, things can change very, very quickly in 5 years. What does it look like for you? Thank you guys so much for joining my talk. My name is Blondina Polazzo, aka The Smart Blonde. You can reach me at blondinafit@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining this inspirational talk on the Take Action Now Summit. Inspired Choices Network and our expert speakers are excited to connect with you and learn about your desires to evolve and grow in 2024. If you'd like to learn more about everything Inspired Choices Network offers, including future summits, please email us at info@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.